Lagos Assembly Education Committee assures schools in the metropolis of maximum security as schools resume new academic session. Our special focus this week is on the Lagos Assembly Committee on Education's inspection tour of public schools being renovated in the state. On a lighter note, we bring you the grand finale of the Ekpe female football competition initiated by a lawmaker in the Lagos State House of Assembly and named after the wife of the governor of Lagos State. We have details coming up. Hello and welcome to another episode of Lagos Parliament. We're glad to bring you updates on the activities of Lagos legislators. This week, I am Abimbola Agbebi.
Lagos Parliament, bringing the legislators closer to you.
The Lagos Assembly Committee on Education is stopping at nothing in ensuring that the renovation of public schools in Lagos by the state government is carried out to the letter. Let's take you back to where the committee started its tour of the school project from.
Based on the understanding, I think is the rain issue. Based on the site performance, I think it's the rain that in the challenges. We still have the materials, you have the rain, but it's the excavation aspect of it. Whenever it is raining, we don't used to do much of the excavation.
From what we are seeing here, you don't have the full complement of your workforce on ground. Nothing is working here. No machine is moving, nothing, because
these are our workmen. These are the ones that will be working with us on this one.
In a related development, the Lagos Assembly Committee on Education on the 11th of September defied the rains to visit some public schools in Lagos upon resumption. The visit provided some parents with the opportunity to draw the attention of the state government to the issue of security, especially in Moodle Colleges. There was a downpour just as the committee was setting out, but this did not deter the lawmakers. Baduri Moodle College, Aja, was the first port of call. Its resumption day, parents were cited with their words carrying their bags and other personal effects. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Larry Oguyemi, says the purpose of the visit is to ensure that public schools in Lagos State are functioning optimally. Parents who were lucky to meet the lawmakers used the moment to seek for improved security in Lagos schools, especially in Moodle Colleges.
Concerning the security issue in the state right now, we just want to implore them to probably get security personalities around the schools, at least to prevent them from coming. Though we know that everything is in the hand of God, but at least they should also help us to do their own very best.
Responding to the fear raised by the concerned parents, Oguyemi re-echoed plans by the state government to beef up security, targeting the various hideouts of criminals in the state. The Education Committee continued its oversight on the school by inspecting the hostel facilities, among others. Impressed with what the committee met on ground, it was agreed that there is room for improvements in the area of provision of better educational facilities for the students.
I think principally it is all about trying to enhance public confidence in our public schools. Basically, it's not a bad situation that we found. I think what we found is above average.
The committee chairman also made a personal donation of a sum of 300,000 naira to both the senior and junior colleges for the repair of the hostel ceilings.
We are indeed very grateful for that generous donation he has made, and we promise to use it digitally to do one or two things that we are lacking in this school.
He urged corporate organizations and individuals to assist the government in achieving quality public schools in the state. And joining us to talk about the massive renovation of public schools in Lagos by the state government, as well as the role of the legislature in ensuring that such projects are not carried out haphazardly, is the Chairman House Committee on Education, Honorable Lanre Ogunyemi. He represents Ojo constituency too in the state parliament. Let's go on this time out, and when we come back, the discussions will begin. And yes, I have here with me the Chairman House Committee on Education, Honorable Lanre Ogunyemi. It's nice to have you on the show, sir.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
All right, you're welcome. All right, infrastructural decay has always been, or most of the time, been an issue in most public schools in Nigeria. Now, massive renovation of public schools going on in Lagos as we speak. What triggered it?
Well, you know, given the nature of our environment, talking about maintenance culture is the reason why any serious agency, whether of government or private sector, should continue to carry out regular and periodic assessment of infrastructure and do overhaul of same. And I think that's what the Lagos State government is doing. It's not different from that. And I think that some of these schools have been built over the years, and because of long time of use, they need to be overhauled, they need to be rehabilitated, and of course some that needs outright replacement are pulled down and new ones are put in their place. That's the whole essence of the exercise.
Wow. Now overhaul of these facilities in these public schools, how often do we have such exercises being carried out by the state government? Because you may have a state, because you will agree with me that most parents will still prefer to send their wards to a private school than a public school. The impression is always that there's this huge gap between private schools and public schools. What do you have to say to that?
Well, talking about the gap between private and public schools, you will agree with me that there's a way the private sector does its work. The general belief out there is that government business is nobody's business. But I think that orientation is changing now. Some couple of years back, the Lagos State government enacted what we call service delivery code among its civil service. And I know that for us in Lagos, the culture is the culture of service delivery, culture of commitment. And that's what the government is doing to ensure that everything you get in terms of service delivery is the best you can also get everywhere. So for us in Lagos, I would say that yes, while we say the private schools are out to make money, because apart from service delivery, they are also business oriented, profit oriented, and but of course government is service delivery, and so you see a situation where the private sector are trying to do the best to give value for money. But government also is not resting on its laurels. And I can tell you that go to all our schools in Lagos, 70% of our schools can rank favorably with private schools in Lagos.
One of your roles as a legislator is to ensure that such funds appropriated for a particular project are being judiciously used for the projects they were appropriated for. What's your assessment of the quality of work done at those schools your committee visited in recent times?
Well, let me start by saying that you have rightly identified the fact that one of the principal roles a legislature should play in a democratic government is the role of oversight, to make sure that the claims by the executive, by the departments and agencies of government or the ministries can be corroborated and matched with what we have approved. Sometimes you have extra budgetary spending, which is an aspect of budget. So we must really be able to look at this and ensure that they have not gone outside of what has been approved, and that what has been approved has been judiciously used, and that the project on ground speaks positively about the use of that fund. And that's the reason why you must be on the field all of the time. You must monitor adequately, and you must ensure that the contractors are delivering. Yes, the Ministry of Education or all other ministries of government or agencies or departments would closely monitor activities of the contractors. But in their interface with the House of Assembly, they make claims to say this project or that project has been 100% completed or 50% completed. The veracity of that claim must be confirmed by the House of Assembly that has appropriated the funds, and that's why it becomes very, very critical that we follow up and go on the field and assess all of these projects to show the level of compliance.
Now, let's talk about these Moodle colleges that your committee has visited recently. I was also opportune to be on that team. And I was just wondering what triggered that idea in the minds of the state government. How did it all started? Renovation works going on across Moodle colleges.
Our Moodle colleges are very critical. You were part of our team over 2 years ago, or close to 2 years ago, at the onset, at the inception of this administration. We went round as a House of Assembly Committee on Education to assess the level of decay or otherwise of facilities in our Moodle colleges based on reports, based on newspaper reports of decay in some of the schools. And we felt we needed to verify it. And we spoke loudly that something needed to be done. And if now our government has responded positively, we should come out boldly to say, yes, we've been able to correct all of those issues that the public cried about. And that's the essence of the rehabilitation. So it's across board, Moodle colleges and all other schools in Lagos. It's an ongoing process, and I think the government is doing very well in that direction.
And I'm still talking about the renovation of these public schools. Do you think it's an exercise that can be single-handedly carried out by the state government alone?
Well, again, I have said it, and I'm going to repeat it again, that given the observation we have had on the field, we know that this state government is enjoying some support from public-spirited individuals, from corporate entities, from religious organizations. But we feel that more still needed to be done to our immediate environment. Look at a school, where you reside around, and look at what you can do, either as a permanent secretary in government, either as a commissioner in government, a special advisor, a member of the House of Assembly, a member of the House of Representatives. When we pull all of this together, I'm sure it will go a long way to also support what government is doing. I have always been an ardent believer in plowing back to wherever you have gotten opportunity from. And that's why in Badore, because that school is part of the success story of my daughter, Dr. Oluwabukola Ogunyemi, on her behalf, I donated 300,000 for some little fixtures here and there. So if all of us will collectively come to support government, I want to believe that it will be a better environment, a good place for all of us.
Now, it is one thing to renovate schools, overhaul facilities in there. Now, it's another thing to ensure that such projects are maintained well. Now, how do you ensure that these projects, when completed, are not taken back to its old self, owing to poor maintenance?
Well, talking about poor maintenance, naturally you expect that when you put facilities in place, because of constant usage, there are bound to be some need for repairs here and there. And of course, for those that do not have boarding facilities, that's why you have the class teachers there, that's why you have the school managers there to ensure that these facilities are closely monitored so that they are not misused.
So in totality, how many schools has your committee visited, and how many are left that are yet to be renovated?
Well, you really, talking about oversight, you do some random sampling. I can affirm to you that since the inception of this committee in this 8th Assembly, we have visited nothing less than 75 schools in Lagos, cutting across the nook and crannies of Lagos. We are not doing too badly. We have not gotten everywhere, but we will get everywhere.
Fantastic, that's quite impressive. Now, during the visit, one of the issues raised by the parents had to do with the issue of security of schools in Lagos, which again brings to mind the recent kidnap that of some students that happened somewhere in the area of Lagos. As the Chairman House Committee on Education, how would you respond to this? I mean, what's are the plans of the Lagos State government in this regard? I mean, parents are worried. They want to know what the Lagos State government is doing with regards to the safety of their wards in these schools.
Well, by the special grace of God, the issue of kidnap in our school system will be put behind us. And the government is very positive that never again should it happen in Lagos. Let me say that you saw how well our governor handled the matter in collaboration with the police, and you saw how concerned he was with the issue and all efforts that were put in place for us to be able to, get those children back. And let me say that if you go to all of our model colleges, like I have said a couple of weeks back severally, that everybody is on red alert. In collaboration with the police, have been monitoring all of these areas and have been issuing notices, quick notices for those who have all those things. And I think they have started doing some clearance of those chances. And I can tell you that the security situation would be strongly improved, and the public can be sure that this government is sensitive to security of our schools.
So if I may ask, sir, what's your general assessment of the level of work done across these schools that you visited?
Well, like I've always said, yes, at the kickstart of this massive renovation that the government is doing now, I think about 10 billion was pumped in the first tranche by this government, and that has spiraled into some of the renovation you are seeing. And there's no district out of the 6 that is not witnessing the massive rehabilitation of some of this infrastructure, and even the construction of new ones. I've seen construction of new structures where there's much population and the government needs to add infrastructure. And I think that overall the government has done very well. And I want to say that again, very recently, Excellency the Deputy Governor did inform the stakeholders meeting that the governor has also approved another 6 billion naira for the second tranche to also be used for improvements of facilities and the creation of new ones. And you also know we were together on the field. There are 3 new world-class model colleges befitting of a smart city that Lagos is now. And you have one at Angos Memorial in Yaba, you have one in Ojo, and of course you have the third one in Surulere. And these are supposed to be a modern world-class prototype model college that will have 36 classrooms, that will have all the other facilities, the ICT libraries, the digital libraries, and then of course all the other facilities, the laboratories. And I want to assure you that this government is doing very well for education, and we are proud of it.
Okay, so if I may ask, sir, what would you like to say to our viewers out there who are so keen about knowing what the state government is doing with regards to the quality of education that is being handed out, across the public schools in the state? Some parents, if you ask me, have lost confidence in public schools. They believe you want quality education, you go to private school. So what would your final words be to people like that who still believe that public schools just don't have it?
Know that the Ministry of Education regularly does training and retraining of teachers. Some of them even have the opportunity of training outside the shores of this country. And I can assure you that the teachers we have in the public sector of the state's education system is the best you can have anywhere. And let me also tell you that we have a quality assurance department under the Ministry of Education that is also quality assuring the entire public about our schools. They go around all these schools and I can tell you that they're doing fantastic about the monitoring and the supervision of our schools. So you can vouch for the quality of our public schools in Lagos.
You seem to have this kind of passion that I don't know how to describe. I've taken my time to really study you while carrying out your oversight while on the field, and I'm just asking, where is the drive coming from? Yes, the Chairman House Committee on Education, but then you seem to have this passion that I can't really describe.
My passion for education, education is the bedrock of development. Education is the driving force for national development. And the House of Assembly puts round pegs in round holes. And I can tell you that that's why the House sought in there, that as an educationist, hey, this is a bit you can manage effectively. And I'm so committed to it. I want development. I want us to be able to mold and build leaders who would, tomorrow when we are no longer there, take charge as leaders of our country and take our country to the next level.
Wow. He's a trained educationist, hence his passion for the education sector. I must thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And I've been chatting with the Chairman House Committee on Education. I've been talking about the massive renovation of public schools, model colleges actually, going on at the moment across the state. I've been chatting with the lawmaker representing Ojo Constituency 2 in the State Parliament. I must thank you once again for coming on the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, the program continues shortly. Please stay with us. On a much lighter note, the first female football competition that kicked off in Ekpe area of Lagos last month has finally come to an end. The female soccer tourney, which was initiated by the lawmaker representing Ekpe Constituency 1 in the State Parliament, Honorable Abiodun Tobo, is actually the first in the state. At the tournament, named after the wife of the governor of Lagos State, Mrs. Bolanle Ambode, the winning team was handsomely rewarded by the First Lady. Let's go to the football pitch.
It started like play. Today we rounded up. We thank God for His mercy. It's a nice one. I feel honored, well attended, and nice competition. Well, that is catching them from the grassroots, catching them young, taking them up, and nurturing them. You can see that most of them are young girls, secondary school girls, and some of them are artisans. So that shows that we can build them and get the best from them. This will keep those children off the street, and they will do what is reasonable, and rather than doing what's immoral. I'm seeing most of them representing the Lagos State and Nigeria as a whole. And one of them has been invited to under 20 team right from this field. And I want to tell you, we have picked the best 11 that shall be representing this division, and I promise you, we will not show them. It's a female football competition, and she's the first female of this state, the first woman of this state, the mother of the state. So I feel it's reasonable to name it after her. If I name it after any other person, who know them? But everybody knows the woman, and more so, she is the son of soil. I mean, she's the daughter of soil. The husband is the son of soil. There's no any other person that is best suitable than her. So that is why we name it after her, to encourage them. It has not been given, but we believe we will start from somewhere. We have started now, and I feel others will emulate, and they will copy what we are doing, and we encourage women to play football and soccer so that we can develop with advanced women.
And I just see it as a style and strategy in developing our youth through sports. It gets me quite advancedly developing our youth through sports. So it's an opportunity of bringing the youths, both the female and male folk together. Well, it's not, but it's gradually taking up. We have left Egypt. We have to arrive at Jerusalem. And very soon, we are going to get to Jerusalem. Our female football soccer is developing at a very geometric progression. So it's a good development. We just need to encourage them. But as we are encouraging them, as they are developing their body, they have to develop the brain too. It's important to balance out.
I think It is high time we start encouraging people to create competitions, sporting competition for these young chaps, both the girls and female and male, so that they can come out and do well instead of allowing them to just rot away, especially during this ASUU strike. And it is important that we take advantage of this period to engage our youth in doing something meaningful for themselves. And this is what we call the grassroots soccer. This is what we expect everywhere, meaning corporate bodies to come out and be supporting the government with. It shows our commitment, the presence of Her Excellency Mrs. Akinwumi Ambode, to grassroots people, to add value to the people within the state and in those rural areas.
Players, 1 official. 10 players, 2 officials. President, please. And that will be presented by Honorable Raji.
I want to tell the wife of the governor and Honorable Abiodun for this special gift they've given to me and for promoting female football in this locality. We haven't seen this for more than 5 years, and more than many years. But this has been the first, and I'm so proud to be the highest goal scorer of this tournament. Though we came 14th, but I'm just thanking them for this great opportunity they've given to all the female footballers in this stadium.
No, I scored a penalty. After all, we tried our best. There's nothing I can do. We tried our best, and Evans.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen,
in the game, one person was.
The die is cast.
So you scored one
and
yeah, I scored.
I'm really impressed because this is the first kind of female competition in Ekpe competition, and I really thank the organizer, the governor's wife. She really tried. She made everything to be lively, and I know such thing will be coming on and on, often and often. I know it will be an annual process, and I really thank them for improving the youth, especially the female. And in this, we open the eyes of Ekpe females to engage their females in sporting activities.
And with that, it's a wrap on this week's episode of Lagos Parliament. We thank you for staying with us. Till I see you again next week. Remember, you can watch previous episodes of Lagos Parliament on www.youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Abimbola Agbebi. Bye for now.